Hello viewers, I suppose all of you are doing fine. Today, from the introduction, I think you have understood that today's topic is application of calculus in economics and commerce. This is a topic for the commerce students in ISC Mathematics. In the section C we have. This is an important chapter. Its application for the commerce students can be understood, and they can feel the importance of calculus in economics and commerce. Before that, the previous video which I had uploaded was based on the limits for class 11. Those who had requested for class 11 for the questions and limits, I suppose you have understood, and if not, please do comment and give suggestions for whatever changes you need and whatever more types of questions you would request you would like me to upload. Anyway, before I go for the concept and the examples of the applications of calculus in economics and commerce, I would like to once again remind you about the subscription of my channel, and obviously to give the like and the comments in the comment box. Always do not forget to click on the bell icon for the notifications, so that whatever videos I upload, you will get it whenever it is uploaded. So let us move on to the concept of application of derivatives in economics and commerce. So let us start with the concept. The first concept of economics and commerce is the cost. Two things are very important in economics and commerce, that is cost function and revenue function. Based on that, we have the further understanding or the further concepts to be understood. Anyway, what is cost function? Now, whenever there is a production in a company, there are two types of cost. Costs can be divided into two parts. That is, one is fixed cost, and the other one is the variable cost. Variable cost. Now, what is fixed cost and what is variable cost? Now, in a company, certain costs are always fixed. Fixed like the electricity, the sanitary, and the security. Those are all fixed, which we have to always incur even if there is no production. So those costs are fixed, whatever is the production, whether the production is in a large scale or whether the production is in a small scale. So those costs are fixed. And what is variable cost? Variable costs always depends on the number of units those are produced. So cost function, if we denote the number of units produced is X, then cost function is denoted by fixed cost Cx, fixed cost plus variable cost. Variable cost is X is the number of units, X is the number of units produced into cost per unit. Cost per unit. Okay, this is the cost function. So we will first understand cost function, and then we will go with the examples of cost functions and the variable cost, and then we will move to revenue function. So this is the cost function. Now, if this is the total cost function, or we say this total cost. Total cost. Now, what is average cost? Average, you know from the word average, it is what is the mean cost, means of the total production. And sometimes the cost is more, sometimes the cost is less, depending on the cost of the raw materials or depending on the labor cost and many more criteria. We do not go for so much of details in mathematics. That is, in commerce or economics you will understand. Variable cost is the total cost divided by the number of units produced. We write average cost. Average cost, not variable cost. Average cost is the total cost divided by the number of units produced. Average cost. Since it is a function of x, we write average cost. X is the number of units produced. Is the total cost by the number of units produced. So based on this concept, let us understand through an example. Let us see the example.
For manufacturing a certain item, the fixed cost is rupees 6,000 and the cost of producing each unit is rupees 20. What is the cost function and what is the total cost and average cost of producing 15 units?
So in this question, the fixed cost is rupees 6,000. So cost is equal to 6,000 plus variable cost. Now variable cost is rupees 20 per unit. So cost function is 6,000 plus 20 x. X is the number of units produced. Therefore, total cost of producing 15 units will be 6,000 plus 20 into 15. That is 6,000 plus 30. That is rupees 6,300. This is the total cost. What is the average cost? Average cost is total cost by number of units produced. That is 6,000 plus 20x divided by x, or average cost of 15 units will be 6,300. We have got the total cost by 15. That is 3 5s are 3 2 1 0 0. That is 4 2 0. So average cost is rupees 420. I think you have understood. Let us see the next concept and the next example. Okay, we have understood what is cost function and we saw an example on a cost function and average cost function. Now we shall understand what is revenue function. Usually students make a mistake about revenue function and profit function. They think that revenue means the profit that we are getting. Actually, that is not the thing. Revenue means after selling the products, what amount of money or what amount of revenue is received by the company. That may not be giving profit. So revenue function is denoted by Rx, that is equal to P into X. What is this P? P is the price per unit. P is the price per unit. And X is what? X is the number of units sold. X is the number of units sold. We also say X is the demand. According to the demand, what is the revenue achieved? Now, once we have understood what is revenue function, we can easily find out the profit. Obviously, revenue minus the cost, if it is more than 0, if it is positive, obviously it will be profit. If it is negative, it will be loss. That means if revenue function is greater than cost function, implies profit. And if revenue function or revenue at this X number of units is less than the cost for producing X units, then obviously it is revenue. If it is less, then it is loss. So revenue minus cost is profit, and cost minus revenue is loss. Now, so profit function Px is equal to revenue function minus cost function. What is average revenue? Average revenue, just like average cost function we have studied, average revenue means the revenue per unit of sale of the product. So revenue function divided by the number of units sold will give you the average revenue. Okay, now we have understood cost function, revenue function, average cost function, average revenue function, as well as profit function. Now, sometimes what happens, there is no profit, no loss. In that case, we say that company is going through break-even points. So, break-even points, what happens? Revenue function is equal to cost function, or we may say revenue function minus cost function is 0. This was the concept of revenue function, profit function and break-even points. We shall now see an example to understand the concept better.
A company sells pens at rupees 5 per unit. The fixed cost for the company is rupees 3,200 and the variable cost is estimated to run 25% of the total revenue. Determine the total revenue, the total cost function, the break-even point, and the quantity the company must sell to cover its fixed cost.
Okay, let us solve the problem. So, the company sells at rupees 5 per unit 1 pen. So, revenue function is Rx is 5x. And cost function. So, revenue function we have got, cost function is fixed cost plus variable cost. Fixed cost is given rupees 3,200 and variable cost is 25% of the revenue function. So 25% of 5x. So 5 into 20, 5 4s are 5 5s are. So this is 3,000. $3,200 plus 5 by 4x. So cost function is 3,200 plus 5 by 4. So revenue function we have got, cost function we have got. Now break even point. At break even points, revenue function equal to cost function. So according to the equations we have 5x equal to 3,200 plus 5 by 4x, or 5x minus 5 by 4x is equal to 3,200. 15 by 4x equal to 3,200, or x. So 15 by 4x is equal to 3200, or x is equal to 3200 into 4 by 15, that is x is equal to 853.33. So we have to sell this much amount of products so that there is no loss, no gain. Now the last part of the question is, how much or how many quantities should the company sell in order to recover the fixed cost at least, so that there is no loss of the fixed cost. So revenue function is x, and that should be equal to the fixed cost 3200. So x is 3200 by 5, or 640 units. So the company should sell 640 units in order to recover the fixed cost. Okay, so let us see the next concept, that is marginal revenue and marginal cost. Now let us understand the marginal functions. First of all, we have understood what is cost function, we have understood what is average cost function. Now let us understand marginal cost function and marginal average cost. Now, what is marginal cost? That should be a bit understood. We know the cost is the total cost of the fixed cost and the variable cost. Here marginal cost means when 1 unit of production is increased, means 1 unit is more produced, then what is the increase in the cost? That is defined as marginal cost. And same way, when there is 1 unit change in the average cost, what is the what is the increase in cost? That is the marginal average cost. So marginal cost is given by rate of change of cost with respect to change in 1 unit of production. So derivative of cost function by with respect to the number of units. Similarly, marginal average cost is the derivative of the average cost function with respect to the one unit of production. Now, what is the relation between both of them? We know average cost is given by total cost by number of units produced. So marginal average cost is given by derivative of C by X. Applying U by V formula or quotient rule, this is X square, X derivative of C with respect to X minus derivative of X is 1 into C. C is the total cost. So this is further written as derivative of C with respect to X minus C by X. So C by X square, and this is by X, because by X square X will cancel, 1 by X will remain. So dC by dx is what? dC by dx is MC, marginal cost, minus C by X, this is by X, minus C by X into 1 by X. X square was there. So this is 1 by X could be taken common. MC minus C by X is average cost. So marginal average cost is given by 1 by X into marginal cost minus average cost. So this is the relation between marginal average cost and marginal cost and average cost. Now, what is marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is similar to the marginal cost also. marginal revenue denoted by MR, that is the change in the revenue or the increase in the revenue, Rx, revenue function, with respect to 1 unit more sale. This is known as marginal revenue. Now let us see few problems related to average cost, marginal cost and revenue cost.
A firm knows that demand function for its main product is linear. It also knows that it can sell 3000 units at rupees 5 per unit, and it can sell 1200 units when price is rupees 11 per unit. We have to determine the demand function, the total revenue function, the average revenue function, and the marginal revenue function.
So according to the question, the demand function is given a linear function. So linear function means it will be a function whose power is 1. So x is equal to a plus p we have taken, where a and b are constant and p is the price per unit. Price per unit. Now it is given that when 3000 units are sold, the price per unit is 5. So A plus 5B. This is one equation. And when price per unit is 11, that is 11B, then number of units sold is 1200. Solving both of them, we will get minus 6B equal to minus 1800 plus 1800, or B is equal to 300. Therefore, putting the value in any one of the equation from 1, we get 3000 is equal to A plus 1500. So B is equal to minus 300 actually. So this is A plus minus 1500, or A is equal to 4500. So X, or the demand function, is given by 4500 plus PB, that is P into minus 300. Or from here, the price per unit can be written as 300P is equal to 4500 minus X, or P equal to 4500 by 300, that is 15 minus X by 300. This is the price per unit. Therefore, the revenue function is what? Revenue function is equal to price per unit into X, that is 15 minus X by 300 into X, that is equal to 15X minus X square by 300. So demand function we have got, revenue function we have got. So marginal revenue is equal to dr by dx, that is derivative of 15x minus x square by 300, that is 15 minus x by 150. This is the marginal revenue. So we have got all of them: demand function, revenue function, and the marginal revenue function. Now we have to find the average revenue function also. So average revenue function is average revenue, that is revenue function by the number of units, that is 51 by x, 15x minus x square by 300. So 15 minus x by 300.